Welcome to the Book of Wellbeing podcast, a place to help you to understand, manage and improve your mental health and wellbeing, where you will find the knowledge, guidance and tools you need to improve your life and where you can build your own wellbeing toolkit to take with you. Acceptance is the hardest lesson life gives us and the most important one we can learn. Once we learn this lesson, we can actually get the most out of life and be free from a mountain of pain that we're carrying with us on our shoulders. We're all wandering around in our day-to-day lives, resisting rather than accepting. We resist the emotions we feel, the events and hardships we experience. We resist ourselves as a person, who we are, as if we aren't good enough the way we are. And we resist the reality of life that is, shit happens. This resistance usually transpires in the form of whys. Why me? Why now? Why has this happened? A negative attitude and complaining a lot about the weather, parts of our day going wrong, and all of the things we have to do. By being in denial about how we feel and resisting our emotions and resisting the past. And by making a choice to stay stuck and not changing aspects of our lives that we aren't happy with. Life can be uncertain and unpredictable. Nothing is permanent and everything changes. The problem is the feeling of uncertainty and the fear of the unknown that this brings causes us to have resistance and an unacceptance to certain aspects of our lives. We subconsciously think that by resisting we will prevent change, or by resisting we can change the things we can't control, or the effect these things have on us emotionally. When actually this resistance keeps emotional pain going and prevents us from moving on and actually living our lives. A big part of our resistance stems from the past. We ruminate and replay past events over and over again, our brains believing that by replaying the story, this will somehow solve the problem, when actually it causes it to grow, because we've given it so much time and attention. Now, it isn't easy to let go of the past, the things we've experienced, the choices we've made, the things we've said and done, or what others have said and done. And acceptance isn't about trying to forget this is impossible. It's about accepting that this has happened and giving ourselves permission to move on, to untie ourselves from the chains that are wearing us down. Is there anything you can do to go back in time and change the past? No. So we have two options. We either stay stuck, resist and keep holding on to the past, giving it permission to hold us back, or we learn to accept that it happened and give ourselves permission to live the precious life we have. Sometimes to be able to do this, to accept and move forward, we have to address something. If we're struggling to accept it, some form of past pain or trauma, it might be that we've suppressed pain in some way. We haven't allowed ourselves to feel something and we haven't quite dealt with it. Sometimes this can be done ourselves, or sometimes we might need to talk to someone about it, either a trusted person or a professional. We'll be coming on to moving on from past pain in a future episode in more detail, but for now, when we're focusing on acceptance, if the past is preventing you from allowing yourself to let go and move on, do this. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is you need to feel. Don't resist emotion, but rather let yourself have and feel it. And if it's painful, after a period of allowing that feeling to be, do something that helps you to feel better, distraction and self-care. And know and accept that the pain you've experienced in the past and the present will help you to grow as a person. It will bring you resilience and wisdom if you learn to allow pain, emotion, and then eventually acceptance happen. It's difficult to embrace our suffering, but if we learn how to practice accepting, then we'll be able to cope much better in the future when we're faced with other challenges. Resistance brings more suffering, acceptance brings more peace and freedom, so it's up to you. Acceptance will prepare and ready you to live in a world full of change and challenge, and a one where you can actually live and enjoy your life despite the change and challenge. It will give you protection and strength. Once we've started the process of acceptance, the second component, which will enhance your ability to be more at peace and be able to enjoy your life, is to reframe how you're looking at and seeing the world, yourself, and other people around you. When we've lived through experiences that have held us back from accepting, we've often got dark tinted glasses on, a default stance for how we see things, and we need to get the rose tinted glasses out. So make a habit of pushing yourself, digging deep, and looking for the positives around you, the lessons you can learn, so you can take whatever it is that you've needed to accept and turn it on its head, from pain and negativity to peace and lessons to enhance your life. Acceptance isn't about agreeing with what's happened, it's just embracing reality. And it isn't always about accepting the big things, the challenging things we have in life. It's about looking at day-to-day life. What are we resisting? The things that we're complaining about and dwelling on. I'll explain it in simple terms. Can you stop the rain from falling? No. So why are you trying? What do you have to gain from complaining and dwelling on it? Can you get out of your car when you're in traffic and move it? No. So you have nothing to gain from complaining and stressing out about it. All of those things in life we have no control over, we can't change, we just have to accept, because staying stuck, dwelling on things, complaining, ruminating about them won't change them. It will just keep you stuck and prevent you from living your life. So learn to accept those little things. Acceptance is a choice that only you can make, but it's the most valuable choice that you can make in your life. Now, tomorrow, next month, next year, and for the rest of your life. Acceptance is the game changer. It will transform your life. For the acceptance toolkit in this episode, I have 3 tools to introduce to you to try. The first one is accept or change. So what we don't want to do is accept the things that we can change when they're causing us unhappiness. So you need to ask yourself the simple question, is this something that I can change and control? If it's out of your control, then that's where acceptance comes in. Those are the things that you need to work on accepting. If it's something that you do have control over, that you can change, and it's bringing you some unhappiness, then plan to change it. Make small steps, small changes. Accept or change. The second tool is something to physically do, because sometimes when we are applying things, new techniques, new tools in our lives, we need to do more than just think about it. We need to actually do something. So this is the pen method. So what you need to do is get a pen or a pencil in your hand, hold it really tight, hold on to it as tight as you can. This is you resisting. So you are resisting letting go of that object. Now, let go. Let the pen or the pencil fall. Did anything really drastically bad happen when you let go? No. And this is exactly the same as working on letting go and moving on from something that's happened in your life. Nothing terrible is going to happen if you try to accept it. The world's not going to end. You're just going to free yourself from pain, from that tension that you're holding on to. And the third tool, we've done this one before, inhale acceptance, exhale resistance. So in a previous episode, we've done this one where we inhale calm and exhale worry. And when we're thinking about acceptance, it's more than just what's going on in our head. It's about our body as well. We have to physically let go of tension that this resistance is causing. So it's a simple breathing exercise, and you take deep breaths, and when you inhale, you think about inhaling acceptance. So I am going to accept that this has happened. I am accepting the position I'm in right now. And when you exhale, you're thinking about exhaling that resistance and that tension. and you keep going. And when you do this and you learn to practice acceptance, physically thinking about it, it'll bring you a sense of peace. It won't necessarily remove all of the pain, but you will feel more peace. So give these tools a try, write them down if you need a reminder, but they can really help when you're trying to accept things in life. What you resist persists, what you accept transforms. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode. Hopefully some of this can be helpful and you can practice the tools to learn to accept more things in life and give yourself permission to have freedom and less pain. Don't forget to follow the Instagram and Facebook pages at The Book of Wellbeing and subscribe to the podcast if you're finding it useful. Have a nice week.